Sherlock Holmes, your brother Mycroft sent his regards.
Oh, how touching. Perhaps one day he'll do it in person.
Look, I just tell you what they tell me.
And you've done it admirably. Good show. I'm confident that with a bit of effort, one day you might even send regards to the king himself. Goodbye.
Wait, no. I haven't told you yet.
Of course, let me guess. Mission urgent, fate of the nation, etc. Mycroft busy with his tea parties, is he?
Right. So, one of our agents has been involved in an accident and can't send us the confidential document she's obtained. We need you to go and ensure the job is completed. So, yes, urgent mission, fate of the nation.
So, Mycroft needs another errand boy. And you are presumably too incompetent? Oh, don't give me that look. I'll go and check on your agent. Send Mycroft my regards.
The details are in this note, Mr. Holmes. If I were you, I'd start to take this more seriously. Lives are at stake.
Nothing ever changes. I'm pulled back and forth between my brothers playing all their silly games.
Hey, at least mine are fun. Don't you have an assignment to work on?
Sir, what do you think you're doing?
Officer.
Oh, I know you. You're the clever chap that cracked that Palazzo del Luzzo case, eh?
Well, presuming there has not been another murder since, then yes, it is I. I'm here to investigate the accident. You don't mind if I examine the scene?
You're too late. Case closed. It was no accident. The rickshaw driver deliberately ran that poor woman over, and I'm taking him into custody.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then my examination of the scene can hardly interfere with your brilliant work, Officer
Huxley. Well, if you want to play detective, go ahead. But stay away from my business, all right?
I didn't see her, I swear. She came out of nowhere. I heard someone collide with my cart, and when I turned around, she was lying there dead.
Sir, I've heard the same not my fault lie 1,000 times. I wasn't born yesterday.
How do you turn a simple accident into a tasty case? Add some spies!
An impact to the back of the head caused severe damage. Her death was probably instant.
Cordona's true horror revealed. Behold, the killer curb.
The dress looks generally neat and tidy. Any staining must have been from the accident. This pendant looks like it may contain something. Let's see. It takes two to tango. I'll find a use for it. Cleaning the houses of rich men by day, and preserving England's secrets by night.
My friend, you know you're in trouble, right? But all this can go away for a small fee.
Oh, damn crooked cops. Come on, concentrate, so we can stop him before he arrests the driver.
Always take care when walking beneath balconies. Always take care when walking beneath balconies. From the position of the body, we can deduce that Mycroft's agent walked down the street from the east. The rickshaw's tracks show that the vehicle was coming from the south. The rickshaw gained speed down the slope of the road and was going too fast to stop for a pedestrian.
But, Sherry, it would be impossible to miss a rickshaw speeding downhill. It was as fast as a racehorse.
Unless something distracts you. A sudden loud noise caught the agent's attention and they stepped into the road without looking. It was all an accident. John, no one is immune to chance. Such synchrony of events would be very difficult to contrive artificially.
No such thing as coincidence. I bet there's a killer mastermind behind this. Or a team of killers. Ooh, a secret global rickshaw conspiracy.
Upon examination of the scene, I have concluded that the smash of the flower pot distracted the woman. She didn't notice the oncoming rickshaw. After stepping into its path, she was knocked to the ground and died after hitting her head on the curb. It was most likely an accident.
Ugh, that's just your imagination. The facts say otherwise.
Well, fact, there are no wheel tracks on the woman's body, so the rickshaw could not have run over her. Fact, you are blackmailing an innocent man.
Didn't I tell you to stay out of my business? You're lucky there's a crowd.
So the man can go free. Oh, thank you, Officer Huxley, for your excellent decision.
All right. The rickshaw puller can leave, but he better not show his face again. That goes twice for you, Mr. White Knight. Goodbye, sir.
I'm glad you didn't leave that poor chap alone.
The truth must be told, even if it damns as often as it saves. Today it spared a driver and denounced an officer. Tomorrow, perhaps the opposite.
I'm glad you didn't leave that poor chap alone. So, what have we learned today? Don't let anyone take you for a ride.
one bed, one table, and one horrible scent of decay which someone tried to cover with perfume. A typical safe house for Mycroft spies. Being a secret agent isn't easy. A brand new model. I must say, perfectly maintained. She took good care of it. Whoever broke in clearly does not appreciate lockpicks. The documents may have been stowed in here, but they're gone now.
The espionage life where at any moment you could die. Of boredom.
A brute force intrusion rather than a stealthy sneak-in. The wax is still warm. Primitive, but efficient at breaking windows. Sloppy work. Unprofessional. Someone was in a hurry. Mycroft's documents were stolen. The thief entered through the broken window not long ago.
What are we waiting for? Let's search the backyard and track him down.
They were in such a hurry that they cut themselves. They injured themselves pretty seriously.
Let's keep looking for tracks, Sherry. We can't be far behind him. Look at the amount of blood. Does it mean they were waiting here for something?
The police patrol schedule sends officers along here regularly. Our thief wasn't waiting. They were hiding. The blood trail stops here. They must have finally bandaged the wound.
The thief must be somewhere around here. I can almost smell him.
Piece of advice. Next time you try to steal from an agent of the United Kingdom, don't leave a trail of blood behind you. Try using a lockpick.
So it seems this is it. You found me. And now I have no choice. No choice at all. He told me to give you this letter.
So where are the documents, and who is he?
Piece of advice. When someone tells you to mind your own business, listen.
Oh, Sherry. What horror could he have been facing that suicide was the better option?
It's a grim augury indeed. There's something bigger brewing, John. We should inspect the poor man for any leads. He managed to bandage the wound properly. A strange act of self-preservation for a man on his way to suicide. Expensive clothes. Pretty worn out, though. family insignia. Typical nobleman fashion. Old and made of silver. Not expensive, but might be an heirloom.
Take a photo of this poor bugger. Better to give Mycroft something rather than nothing.
I suppose it may help in understanding the situation.
Poor chap.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
My dear fellow, you're talking to the right man. Alas, that's a terrible blow for the office. I'd better pass on your report immediately. Thank you for your service.
The accident doesn't look so accidental anymore, does it?
I think you might be right, John. I feel like someone is leading us by the nose. First time I've encountered such a devious mind.
I suspect not the last. I'm still thinking about that man on the bridge.
Mr. Holmes, your brother sent me.
Oh, terrific. Let me guess. Mission of global importance, a nation forever in my debt? Let's get this over with.
I see the Holmes demeanor is genetic. Well then, this island is home to a seemingly innocuous astronomy professor named Jacob Haring. In high society, though, he's rather more infamous. He possesses a collection of scandalous materials that could compromise almost every aristocrat in Britain. And Haring recently got his hands on information that would expose one of our men. He agreed to return it, so long as he was paid a visit by a Holmes.
And Mycroft was too busy watching the crown jewels? Fine. I'll visit Mr. Haring the moment I can spare the time.
Just wait. The man is a loner, but a cunning one. This invitation implies he has something in mind for you, so be careful. And remember, I was never here.
Extra, extra! A treasured man! Cordona's annual tourist treasure hunt has been completed! Congrats to the champion, Mr. Sherlock Holmes!
Interested in some Cordona news? Check the front page. You won't regret it.
Boom, Sherry. I found a corpse. Don't you think it's strange we always end up in situations like this?
Seek, and ye shall find. John, do you know any songbirds?
Oh, I don't know, partridges, birds of paradise, chickens. Okay, I might just be hungry.
It would not be easy to cut this hat in two. Whoever is responsible is a master of their craft. Pheasant feathers. They're rare here. Judging by his expression, a painful and unexpected death. His hand is clinging to his chest, but he has no stab or gunshot wounds. Pattern 1796 light cavalry sabre. It looks like he died of natural causes, but something doesn't add up. Old, but still deadly. 2 sabres used to be mounted here. One presumes that empty safes are not some hip new trend. This was opened carefully. A safe behind a painting. Classic. If you had an enormous collection of blackmail material, where would you keep it?
Oh, nice try, Sherry. But I ain't telling you nothing.
Completely healthy and ready to take part in the fencing competition. So, the victim is Professor Jacob Haring himself. That's no great surprise. London Fencing Club, 1876. A man with a plan. Admittedly not a great plan if you write on paper exactly when you will do your illegal business, but a plan nonetheless. Stamped with Mr. Haring's personal seal. The clock's hands aren't moving.
You're not even trying, Sherry. Concentrate.
Mr. Haring was not one to deviate from his plans, and yet, on this day, he only managed to answer his mail, and never did get to repair the clock. The visitor knew his schedule. They entered the house between 3:30 and 4 p.m. That's exactly when Haring would be checking his blackmail collection. When Jacob saw the intruder, his fencing reflexes kicked in. He lunged left to the sabres, wrenched one off the wall, and attacked the visitor. But in the middle of the assault, Mr. Haring is struck by a heart attack, and the professor only manages to cut off the hat of the intruder. The visitor stole Haring's entire blackmail collection and wrote a message on the blackboard.
Before we go chasing the intruder, should we try to confirm the cause of the professor's death? I'd hate for him to be a red herring.
Half empty, or for John, half full. A strong, rotten smell. Uncharacteristic for tea. Totally empty. Even John couldn't argue with that.
Digitalis is usually used to cure heart disease, but every drug is a poison if you get the dosage wrong. Or right, if that's your goal. Seems like we have fun neighbours, eh, Sherry?
We should introduce ourselves.
He doesn't have an invitation to the club. Get him, boys!
I'm coming for you. I couldn't miss the party.
No more crime for you until next month.
Won't work this way.
I'm coming for you.
Too simple.
The snuff's ready.
I'm gonna hurt you.
Time to knock this guy out.
Good day. No more crime for you until next month.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Dodge this!
Don't cry, you'll live.
It's all yours now. Go for it.
No more crime for you.
The snuff's ready. Time to knock this guy out.
Hello there.
Take a rest, my friend.
I'm coming for you. I will end you. Take this! I can miss the party.
Can overcome the brute now.
I'm coming for you.
Too simple.
Give him the pepper snuff.
Take a rest, my friend.
It's all yours now. Go for it.
How do you do? Don't bother moving. You've lost.
The snuff's ready.
All right, fella. I give up. Take me into custody. You have nothing on me anyway. So I'll walk out the station right after you do.
Excellent job catching this crook, sir. His name is Lucky Joe, and as it happens, someone with influence was after him too. You did them a favour.
I just solved the mystery, officer. If a criminal appears in my path, it merely affirms my deductions are sound.
Either way, you'll be pleased to know that an anonymous tip has fingered Lucky Joe as being involved in the murder of a famous professor. We have photographs and witness statements. Not so Lucky Joe is headed straight to the gallows. Someone served him to us on a silver platter.
Interesting. Well, as a vital ally in the arrest of a wanted murderer, you couldn't possibly object to me interviewing him.
Well, vital? Yes, no, of course. Go ahead.
Looks like those little birdies won't sing for a while, Sherry.
Yeah,
Haven't you made my day bad enough? Get out!
The police received an anonymous tip. Someone saw you entering Professor Jacob Haring's house. They have photos. You're in trouble.
I didn't even touch the old fool. This whole business was a setup from the beginning.
You broke into the house at the exact time Jacob Haring had his safe open and his collection of blackmail materials out. Perfect timing to steal the lot.
Ah, that's circumstantial at best.
Alas, the professor turned out to be less feeble than you expected. He pulled a saber from the wall and nearly took your head off. But lo, the vigor evaporated, and all at once he fell to the floor, grasping his chest as if his heart itself had given up.
That's exactly what happened. And that's why I'll be out of this reeking cell by morning, once the coroner has done his business.
Unlikely. You claim somebody set you up. If so, they will ensure that you're hanged. We both want to know who is truly behind this, so tell me the whole story. It may yet save your life.
Oh, blast. All right. What do you want to know?
Haring's blackmail collection was hardly public knowledge. It stands to reason that whoever informed you of his existence must be who set you up.
Yes, obviously. But I've never seen his face, nor do I know his name. I received a note at El Palazzo de Lusso that gave me the address of Jacob Haring. It was signed with one letter, M.
I cannot believe such an established gang leader would personally engage in burglary simply because he received a letter.
It was not just a letter. I received something else with the note. A file. On me. And a bloody detailed one at that. I'm not sure if it was from Haring's own collection, but it contained things that could bury me and the entire damn Robbins. I burned the file in a heartbeat, but the note warned of others like it in Haring's safe. I needed to retrieve them, and got lucky.
Lucky? Why?
The note said that by being there at a very precise time, I'd find that safe opened. And it was right.
So you broke into Professor Haring's study and stole the blackmail materials. What did you do with them?
Do you like jokes?
My humour tends toward the dry and bitter.
Then you will love this one. As I fled Haring's place with the documents, a pickpocket snatched the folder from me on the street. I was played from the beginning. Beaten at my own game. They made a joke of me and the Robbins. And now I await the gallows. Ha! Ha ha ha!
Oh, you're right, it was a good joke. But now things begin to make sense. Fear not, Joe. I will prove you didn't kill Professor Haring.
What? Then you better do it fast.
Per his schedule, Professor Haring had tea with a guest not long before you arrived. The tea in Haring's teapot was dosed with digitalis. A large dose of such a drug, coupled with physical exertion, can cause cardiac arrest.
So if the old man hadn't attacked me...
He may have lived, yes. But it wasn't you who killed him. The real murderer is the one that poisoned the professor and set you up. I'll make sure the police know it.
Yeah, you may save my bacon.
Oh, I wouldn't sing a victory song just yet. I believe they're preparing for a conversation with you on many subjects. Like the Robbins.
I can handle those fools. I thought you were the copper's pet. But you have character those bloodthirsty mongrels lack. I respect that.
Make no mistake, Joe, we are not friends. Should we meet again under different circumstances, well, you know my character.
Hey you, mutton shunter. Come up here. Come on, is it bring your idiot to work day at the station? We have serious business to discuss.
Looks like those little birdies won't sing for a while, Sherry.
Lucky Joe is just behind this door, waiting for you.
Extra, extra! Robbins finally put in cage. The entirety of the Robbins gang, including their leader Lucky Joe, finally arrested.
Interested in some Cordona news? Check the front page. You won't regret it. Not bad.
Oh, is that you, Mr. Holmes? Please, come in. Now that the police have finished their investigation, Il Palazzo del Lusso has finally reopened.
Are you able to help me?
Sounds familiar, but nothing comes to my mind. Ask someone else.
How can I help you, sir?
Good day. I'm looking for room 227. An acquaintance of mine has invited me to visit him.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, what a delight to see you again. Professor Malice told me he was expecting someone, but I didn't know it would be you. 227 is upstairs and to the left. He said you should spare him the trouble and let yourself in. Here's the key. I'm sure he'll be thrilled to see you.
Professor Malice. Yes. Yes, of course. Well, I'd best not keep him waiting, thank you.
Sherry, this feels awfully like someone has set a mousetrap and we're walking right into it.
I have it under control, John.
If you insist on going up there, promise me you'll be cautious. Really, Sherry, I don't like this. Please. Room 227. This is it.
See? Neither a trapdoor nor a self-firing gun. A family photo of the man who jumped off the bridge. Pity. Everybody has pressure points. What would happen if I pushed yours? Mysteries of Sirius B by Jacob Haring. Used, then discarded. Like everyone in his path. How many more dossiers like this does M possess? These people were not colleagues or co-conspirators, they were just implements M used to get what he wanted.
Any sign of the stolen documents?
A clean champagne flute. The champagne bottle is uncorked, yet still chilled and bubbly. The gall of this man.
Someone's celebrating a victory, and I'm not sure it's us.
The first move has been made. Anglo-Egyptian war looms. M is celebrating and wants us to know it. Mycroft's agent. So M did orchestrate her accident with unimaginable precision. Jacob Haring, just a pawn in a complex chess match. The position of naval forces in the Mediterranean. This M has his sights set on bigger things. A marked map of Cordona. We've visited most of these locations recently. All these thefts, exactions, and deaths are the intricately entwined pieces of a greater plan, and we fail to influence it in the slightest.
What did it say, Sherry?
That I failed, John. He's gone, tore through Cordona like a hurricane and left us to sift through the wreckage. Nelson's monument in Trafalgar Square, London. I am watching you.
The hairs on my neck just stood up.
Extensive handwritten notes on Sirius B. It appears M was studying up. A dossier on General Garnet Wolseley, but now empty. I recognize this seal from Jacob Haring's mail. He left behind only what he wanted us to find. Infuriating.
We're too late, Sherry. M set this all up for us, knowing by the time we found it, he would already have left Cordona.
No, there must be something I've missed. We can still catch him.
There's nothing else here. It's over. You read his letter. He laid out this makeshift museum to taunt you. Don't give him the satisfaction.
I will not cede defeat. I will treat this threat with the seriousness it deserves, which is to say, my absolute attention.
Then you are giving him the win, Sherlock. Have you considered you might be out of your depth? He was sitting here in this very room, spinning his web around Cordona and beyond, manipulating and murdering people, using the Mediterranean as his playground like some sodding Napoleon of crime.
Are you trying to suggest?
I am not suggesting. I am stating outright that he is toying with you and you are too arrogant to avoid the bait. Sherlock, we stumbled into the lion's den. Now we must slow down, be smart, and make sure we get to walk out alive.
So what do you suggest?
I know you want to catch him on your own, but it's time to face the facts. You lost. The smartest thing we can do now is lick our wounds and tell Mycroft everything.
Mycroft? Now you are being hysterical.
Look around you, Sherry. He's stealing secrets from the Crown, toying with navies, fomenting war. You cannot catch him alone. We will need all your brother's connections to stop this madman before he does worse.
Perhaps you're right. He could be anywhere in Europe, and the only practical way to find him is with Mycroft's eyes and ears. I shall endeavour to tell my brother the whole story as soon as I can stomach another humiliation.
Good. Thank you. And it is not humiliation, it is humility. For now, we need to put this wretched affair behind us. M has gone. Best to focus on the reason we came to Cordona in the first place.
You're right. I'm glad you were here.
I'm always looking out for you, brother.
Thank you, John. Now, shall we?
Sherry, let's return to our own matters.
One of John's first pictures. I think this was supposed to be Mycroft. He really has improved his skills since then. This brings back memories. We used this old diary to keep track of our adventures. I think it was my father's. John, do you think we can visit some of the places mentioned in the diary for old time's sake?
Why not? Nothing like a stroll down memory lane. Note down the places you'd like to visit, and I'll add what I remember of them. Salty breeze, warm sand. Oh, I wish we spent more time relaxing.
It was an early morning. For some reason, we snuck out of the house and crossed the bridge into Miner's End.
We were always adventuring, Sherry. Focus on the bow. That's what's important here.
Yes, I remember. It was huge, but wait. How do we find it? I think there was someone else. Oh, of course, Toby, our furry partner in crime, John. How could I have forgotten?
Whoa, it was quite a while ago. Hey, do you remember how we met him?
I remember bell sounds and sweat and the smell of incense. I think it was at the church in Western Miner's End. Let's find the place.
Can't wait to recall how we first met Toby.
The morning sun was shining and church bells called the town to mass, but we weren't here for a ceremony. We were running. From what? Of course! The dreaded Dudley. He was still incensed after the stolen clothes incident and wanted to teach us a lesson. I can almost see where we ran. We lost him for a moment and tried to hide. You pointed to the small courtyard and we ran in. We hid behind crates full of fish. They were stamped as fresh, but I remember my stomach did not agree with that statement.
Oh no, that smell. It almost made me want to face Dudley. But before that happened, there was a noise. I hate bullies, but I am glad that this encounter led to us finding Toby. The idiot had a brain the size of a peanut, but when it came to finding us across the island, his cunning was almost supernatural.
Unlike us, he knew many kids on Cordona, and all were eager to get into his good favours. But this time, he met someone who wasn't scared of him. We heard a low growl first, then a dismissive cry, a loud bark after that, and a terrified scream a moment later.
And when we looked up, we saw only a big angry dog with ripped breeches in its jaw. I was scared, but you wanted to get closer, Sherry, remember?
He looked hungry, and I had a sandwich from home. He sniffed it cautiously and then accepted it and let me pet him. It was the first of many snacks.
Ugh, those dreaded ham and pickle sandwiches. Lucky for Toby, I'm more of a tuna guy.
John, I am starting to recall something else. Close nearby, under the building with a huge water tower on top, we saw it from the church.
Nice to see you.
We heard rumours that this place was haunted, strange lights in the night, people disappearing. One night we decided to investigate. Toby was with us, always happy to join on our escapades. He stopped when we neared the building and refused to go further, but I was resolute. It was pitch black, so we had to light the lamp. The smell of oil and burned hair filled the night. And something moved in the shadows. It was a man. I remember a dirty shirt, horrifying smile, and a pair of manacles in his hand. We turned to run. When we saw that we were cut off. This one had a rope in his hands. My heart sunk. Then I heard a growl. Toby jumped the slavers with all the fury his size contained. We got the hint and ran like the clappers. And I never saw our Toby again.
We departed Cordona soon after that night, Sheriff. Perhaps he was hiding or wandering. It was not unlike him to disappear for weeks on end.
Yes, you may be right. I regret going to that place. Should have listened to Toby's warnings.
And leave a haunted building unexplored? You know very well that is a mystery that would have nagged us forever.
I know, and yet...
No sense dwelling on ifs and maybes. We can choose to remember those times how we want. I'll draw a picture. You just pick the scene.
The moment when we found the bone, I want us to remember playing together.
Good choice. I would have picked the same. Always loved dinosaurs. I will make a drawing. I miss our Toby.
This is it.
We found this old shipwreck soon after we arrived on Cordona. It quickly became our favourite place. I remember feeling safe.
Ahoy, our mighty frigate! All hands ahoy! Show me ye haven't become no lily-livered landlubber. It's strange to recall some of these memories. Feels like it happened in another life to someone else, and yet everything is so real.
We needed a good sail, so obviously we went and stole some sheets from Mycroft's bed. He was furious. I'm sure he still holds the grudge.
'Twas a good rig we ran on him. Aye.
We wanted to name our ship. We took some planks and a bucket of paint from workers at the nearby construction site. Arabella, we called her.
A real woman of war, she was.
This helm was borrowed from Father's collection. He enlisted the police to try and find it, but all the while it was here helping us steer our ship.
Aye, Sherry, and ye were the best coxswain on the briny deep.
I'm starting to remember, John. We didn't stay here for long. Someone else came.
Shiver me timbers, those were the King's men. They came for our booty and to make us dance the Hepham jig.
No, John, that's not right. It was someone else. Let me focus. Of course. Dudley and his henchmen, they couldn't stand some rich kids playing on their territory. And their territory was wherever they saw us.
Those sons of biscuit eaters stood no chance against real swashbucklers.
Sure, but we ran, didn't we?
Well, yes, but only to get our weapon. Savvy? Head up that bridge, buccaneer, to the cannon. Up that bridge, to the cannon.
We wanted to teach them a lesson. Mycroft once said that this cannon was still operational. Obviously, we tried to fire it.
Aye, if we couldn't sail our Arabella, no one would. With one good shot broadside, we sent those freebooters to the Davy Jones.
John, this is getting ridiculous. We didn't fire the cannon. We couldn't fight those boys. We just ran. It was over. Just let it go.
No, stop your whining, you lubber. It's...
John, please stop. I said it's over.
No, wait, Sherry. There is one more thing you need to see.
Oh, all right, John, but this one is the last one.
Avast ye! It's this side of the bridge. A small cave on the beach. We left a sign on the wall. It might still be there. Let's find the cave. You won't regret it, promise.
I think I remember this place. Let me see what we can find.
This cave is my favourite place on Cordona. My favourite place in all the world.
If you're a bully, it's a bad idea to leave clothes unattended while swimming. Someone may repurpose your trousers into a surprisingly good sail.
This cave is my favourite place on Cordona. My favourite place in all the world.
You can't put an old name on a new ship. That's why we called her Themis. This was my father's helm, so we had to steal it back from Dudley. It was high tide and I caught a chill. Spent the next week in bed with a fever.
Oi, matey, let's get her ship shape once more.
I must admit, John, it was good to remember. Let's take a photograph.
Oh, Sherry, come on. I know you want to do it.
All hands ahoy! Weigh anchor and hoist the mizzen! Heave ho, First Mate John! We have a Spanish galleon to plunder! No, this can't be right, Matthias. Murder? Impossible.
Good thing we helped him escape. Now focus, Sherry. Let's remember how we did it. It's in here, Sherry. Focus on yourself and it'll all become clear.
We snuck in when the archives were empty and found something on the archivist's table.
A top-secret map of catacombs beneath the prison, allowing us to rescue Matthias.
No, that's not right. It was something else. Let me focus on it. Ah, of course. It was the shift schedule. We wanted to know which officer was on prison duty that day.
Ah, that's not how I remember it. Or maybe... Yes. We went to find the officer's desk. That's where the map was.
We waited until no one was around, then searched the desk. You were on lookout, John.
Do you recall what we found here? It was near one of the desks. You'll see which when you focus.
I remember a book with wax stains damaged by humidity. The officer used it to keep him company during long prison shifts. A half-eaten tuna sandwich. It was carefully wrapped in a hand-stitched kerchief. You almost took a bite, John. There was a chain of keys. We found something here, John, and something else. It was a police billy club, new, but already stained with blood.
What's important is that we found keys. By my memory, we crept to the prison cells immediately. Let's go.
What a long day. Guards were lazy. Knowing their shift schedule, it was easy to sneak past them and find the right cell.
Yes, and with the keys and map in hand, we busted out Matthias and escaped through the catacombs.
John, no, that's not what happened. Let me remember. It was dark. His cell smelt of decay and excrement. I remember calling for him, but Matthias did not answer, so I walked inside. I saw a shape. It was moving just barely. I remember seeing his familiar yellow jacket, now torn and covered in strange brown splotches. I saw his legs twisted at an impossible angle. Then someone called to me from the door. It was an officer. He didn't yell when he saw me. Understood it at a glance. He took me outside, told me to forget what I saw. In a way, I did.
Sherry, Come outside. We should take a photo of the cell. I know you want to remember the truth.
Rest easy, Matthias. John, I must find that loathsome mutton shunter Mitchell. I will find him.
Good place for a picture, Sherry.
It's not fair. He deserved worse.
And Matthias deserved better. There is a lot of injustice in the world, Sherry. Your skills could make a difference for others like him.
I'm watching you closely, Mr. Holmes.
The editor here is a quack, putting my gripping corruption investigation on the 4th page. We can't tolerate such disrespect, right, Sherlock?
Yes, John. You know, I'm starting to remember. We wrote it somewhere in this building. Let's find where.
I'll be right here.
There was a military parade that day. Everyone was there, so we had the office at our disposal for a while. Still, it's a miracle we weren't caught.
An underappreciated masterpiece was born here. You recall anything else?
Working on this machine felt right. We almost ran out of ink ribbon, but somehow we knew it wouldn't inconvenience anyone. I found a folder with approved stories. John, it wasn't the editor, it was us. We swapped the article on the 4th page with ours. Curious. We had a suitcase. It was soggy and filled with notes and clippings. I remember it was important somehow.
Is that all, my friend?
John, no, wait. I'm missing something crucial. The suitcase, where did we get it from?
Okay, Sherlock, focus on it. What can you remember about it?
It felt wet and slimy, as if it had lain in the water for some time. Yet the insides were surprisingly intact.
Yes, right, and I remember the sound of horns like they use at the industrial sites. It must be somewhere on the Silverton coast.
I can recall the smell of fish. It was so strong I could taste it.
Ah, I think we were near one of those fish warehouses, big ones.
Oh, that comprises the entirety of my memories on the subject.
So, We are looking for a fish warehouse on the coast of Silverton that stands right on the water's edge.
It seems so, my friend. I am sure I will remember the place when I see it. Let's go. John, this is the spot. Let's see what we can record. We found a rope tied to one of the books. We pulled and a suitcase emerged. How do we know where to look? What am I missing? This doesn't seem relevant. This doesn't seem relevant. Brown algae. We were specifically looking for it. I think we saw it on someone nearby. I think I can remember where.
All right, lead the way.
It was night. We saw a man with ink-stained fingers and a notebook. A journalist. His scared look and hasty steps smelled of adventure. We followed. Another man appeared. He was casually dressed, but his haircut and posture revealed him to be a soldier. The journalist quickly changed direction. Another disguised soldier cut the journalist off. He was cornered. We hid behind the barrels and watched.
The three men argued. The soldiers demanded something from the journalist, but he refused. Their words grew louder and someone pushed the reporter.
He stumbled and fell over the edge. After one horrible yell, he hit the ground. The soldiers vanished. We waited to be safe, then went to him.
Focus, my friend. I know you'll remember everything. Blood was everywhere. I was in shock, but you kept your cool. You noticed that his shoes had a layer of salt and brown algae stuck to his leg.
Those men demanded something from him. I wanted to find out what was so valuable as to kill for. And so we did. Made it public.
The journalist Hector Jacobson. People built a memorial after his death. That might be a good backdrop for our picture. Let's find it. Dangerous to be a journalist these days.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
A gentleman deserves an helping hand.
It's a shame what happened. At least we finished his work.
Hector Jacobson was killed for his story, yet it still came to light. A lesson for those less noble. You cannot bury the truth.
I think here is a good place for a picture, Sherry.
John, that's it. We've revisited all the places I wanted from my diary. Even without the rose-tinted glasses, it was good to remember, my friend.
It's a shame what happened. At least we finished his work.